On Tuesday, July 30th, this is BTV's Chinese channel. What are the barriers? This is Michael in New York. Let's first look at the 24-hour data headlines for Bitcoin. As of today, the total market value of cryptocurrencies is $2.48 trillion, which is at a historically high level. The total market value of Bitcoin is $135 million, with a market share of 55.6%. It is evident that funds in the market are continuously flowing back into Bitcoin. The total value locked (TVL) on the chain over the past week. The value fell from $102.2 billion to $99.5 billion, reducing by $2.7 billion. Gato. In the short term, unless Bitcoin reaches a new high, altcoins are unlikely to see a recovery. As of 12 p.m. today, Bitcoin experienced a sharp drop, falling from $70,000 last night to around $66,500, a 4.1% decrease in 24 hours. If you haven't invested yet, you might want to wait and see. According to the data, Solana's public chain ranked first in 24-hour trading volume. What was the trading volume? $1.993 billion. Over the past week, Solana's on-chain revenue was approximately $25 million, surpassing Ethereum's $21 million for the first time, making it the blockchain network with the highest weekly revenue. Additionally, on July 28, Solana recorded its highest single-day revenue in 3 months, amounting to $5.5 million. As of noon today, Solana's price has been fluctuating around $180. Although Solana has made significant progress in terms of revenue and user base, in terms of total value locked (TVL) on the chain, Ethereum's $60 billion is 10 times that of Solana. Therefore, for Solana to truly challenge Ethereum, it needs not just time, but also ecological strength. Let's take another look at the market share of decentralized exchanges, DEX. In May 2023, the monthly trading volume of DEX was only 13.7% compared to centralized exchanges, CEX, which was already a record high at the time. However, this value was surpassed later, reaching a historic high of 14.22%. As of July, the trading volume of DEX is $139.67 billion, with Uniswap having the highest monthly trading volume at $48.52 billion. $22.7 billion firmly holds the second place. If we calculate Uniswap by the total value locked (TVL), it is the largest decentralized exchange, DEX, with $5.58 billion. Curve Finance remains around $2.089 billion, followed by Pancake with a locked value of $1.825 billion and Radium at $1.259 billion. Undoubtedly, DEX's performance this week has been very impressive, as we have observed. Now, DEX has reached a historic high in market share compared to centralized exchanges, CEX. Please like and turn on the little bell. We will help you sort out the craziest news in the past 24 hours that is closest to the Web3 world and your wallet. Yesterday, Bitcoin briefly hit $70,000, then followed by a pulse pressure that we mentioned in our exclusive Monday member review. Once it exceeded $69,800, it entered a new range, which we call a pulse pressure range. So before midnight, it returned to $67,000 USD. So what was the reason? If we have to find a verifiable reason, it was that the Mt. Gox address transferred 0.02 Bitcoin to an unknown address at 7:30 a.m. today. The market generally speculated that this was a test for future large transfers, causing market panic. As of noon today, Bitcoin fluctuated around $66,000 USD. Actually, I think the selling pressure from Mt. Gox is nothing to worry about. First, the market can absorb it, and the old OGs won't easily sell their chips. So, what caused Bitcoin to drop again?
Last night, the reason for the rapid killing was 7. Besides the US $10,000 being a pressure point, according to Arkham. According to the on-chain data tracked, the U.S. government transferred about 29,800 billion BTC, transferred to a new unmarked address, and then 19,800 piece BTC and 10,000 piece BTC teleport to 2 different locations. Arkham analysts predict that one of the 6.7 billion 10,000 piece BTC, the transfer, possibly a deposit to an institution, has caused concerns in the market.
Previously, we reported that the Securities and Exchange Commission, SAC, had accused Silvergate of assisting FTX in securities fraud before its collapse. What was the reason? This bank went bankrupt a month ago, and its stock was heavily shorted the month before. Even worse, in this situation, Silvergate actually delayed releasing the financial statements statements that were supposed to be published in March 2023, directly causing its stock price to plummet by 31%. Not releasing the financial statements clearly indicated to everyone that there were issues with its financial status. So, everyone saw this coming. The financial crisis occurred because a large number of customers withdrew approximately $8 billion in deposits. Therefore, Silvergate declared bankruptcy on March 8, 2023. However, after Silvergate Cabot announced voluntary liquidation, it actually sparked a wave of trust and compliance issues in the U.S. financial sector.
This year, Silvergate was fined by the Federal Reserve for violating anti-money laundering regulations, $4,300, a huge fine of $10,000 Silvergate Bank. The Federal Reserve on Friday officially terminated its ban on the California-based bank and its parent company after the bank successfully completed the liquidation process, returned funds to customers, and officially exited the banking industry. Silvergate Capital Corporation. However, the dilemma of Silvergate did not disappear with the end of the Fed's enforcement action, because even if the Fed gave up enforcement, not all injured parties were satisfied with the announced liquidation plan, and Silvergate still had to resolve new class action lawsuits.
In a statement, the firm said, quote, "In light of recent industry and regulatory developments, Silvergate believes that an orderly wind down of bank operations and a voluntary liquidation of the bank is the best path forward." According to its liquidation plan, all deposits will be fully repaid, but the bank didn't disclose how it would resolve claims against its business. The wind down comes less than a week after Silvergate shut down its Silvergate Exchange Network payments platform, and right as huge clients like Coinbase and Galaxy Digital were pulling their funds. Silvergate had been warning for months now that it was struggling in the wake of last year's crypto collapse, when the bank saw a $1 billion loss in the fourth quarter and saw customer deposits fall by nearly 70%. Since that bank run, Silvergate laid off workers, delayed financial disclosures, and admitted its ability to survive the next 12 months was a going concern.
Of course, the only trigger for all bank collapses is this issue of a bank run. So at that time, with the Federal Reserve possibly raising interest rates again, it also highlighted that the liquidity of small and medium-sized banks in the US was very tight. If they raise rates again, 300 banks will collapse. Now, with the release of the Consumer Price Index and CPI data showing a decline, right? Coupled with the rising unemployment data in the US, there are increasing calls in the market for a rate cut. Just yesterday, the so-called Federal Reserve Nick mentioned in the article that although Federal Reserve officials are unlikely to cut interest rates next week, the developments in inflation and the labor market should prompt officials to signal a rate cut at the September meeting. Let's look at the data. According to the Federal Reserve Watch by the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, CME, the probability of the Federal Reserve maintaining rates in August is 95.9%, which means a rate cut in August is highly unlikely. The probability of a 25 basis point rate cut is 4%. The probability of maintaining rates unchanged in September is 0%, and the cumulative probability of a 25 basis point rate cut is 85.8%. However, Trump recently stated explicitly, addressing Powell, that he should not cut rates before Trump takes office. It remains to be seen whether Powell wants another term. Alright, welcome back. This is Bitcoin TV Chinese channel, and I'm Michael. On April 2nd, 2019, Elon Musk first posted about Dogecoin on Twitter. At that time, Dogecoin was priced at 0.003 USD. When the world's richest man mentioned Dogecoin on Twitter, its market cap was only 300 million USD. He announced that. He had added Dogecoin to his investment portfolio. So after seeing Musk's tweet, Dogecoin's price skyrocketed like a rocket. This directly brought Dogecoin into the ranks of top altcoins. Of course, RMB always has its followers, and its power to attract investors directly led to the market rebound in 2021 and initiated a large-scale bull market. During this period, most cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Shitcoin, and Dogecoin, reached new historical highs in that 2021 bull market. But did you notice that we haven't heard from Elon Musk for more than 2 years during this time? Besides being busy, we should also see if Elon Musk's attitude towards cryptocurrencies has changed.
The prototype of Dogecoin is Shiba Inu Kabosu in this year. He passed away in May, and a large number of crypto communities mourned and prayed for him. Kabosu's Japanese owner recently posted on social media. X announced that the family welcomed a new member. Shiba Inu Nero instantly ignited the enthusiasm of the memecoin community. In a short period of time, several Nero tokens have topped the list of popular transactions on the chain. Although Musk did not comment on the matter, he participated in the Tesla owners' Silicon Valley Club. X takeover. When Musk was asked about his current thoughts on the world's leading cryptocurrency, he did think Bitcoin and some other cryptocurrencies have merit, and he admitted to being a bit disappointed with the original meme. He has a special liking for Bitcoin and Dogecoin because he likes dogs and Mimi. It is not intended to promote any cryptocurrency.
I'm not going to be promoting crypto. So if you know, at most in a joking way, but if you see me pumping crypto, it's not me. I do think there's some merit in Bitcoin and maybe some of the other crypto, and I sort of have a soft spot for Dogecoin because I just like dogs and memes.
How long is this podcast? Over an hour, but if you watch it all, you'll find that Elon Musk is still a loyal fan of Dogecoin. Although he hasn't recently bought Dogecoin on X, SpaceX will still complete the Doge 1 lunar mission, which is a real endorsement for Dogecoin. In the past few years, every tweet from Musk has driven up the price of Dogecoin. However, Dogecoin's current challenge is that its addresses are too dispersed. The market is heavy, so can Dogecoin reach $1? Or how high do you think Dogecoin can go in this bull run? Write your predictions about Dogecoin in the comment section. Let's look forward to Dogecoin taking off soon. What do you think? It's been 10 years since Ethereum was born. From a financial market perspective, this has undoubtedly been a magnificent leap across different strata. After all, Ethereum has moved from the wild frontier to being recognized by mainstream Wall Street institutions with ETFs. But has anyone considered the question, is this the end game for Ethereum, or is this the ultimate destination for all crypto assets? I think the reality might be different. Recently, an on-chain researcher, whose name I won't mention, has been discussing this. He analyzed the current market atmosphere and the distorted values of project parties, investors, and retail investors. If this ETF continues to run rampant, traditional finance might erode the crypto dividends, and it could happen very quickly. Let's take a look at his perspective.
Heyotian, a researcher on the chain, pointed out that innovation in the current primary market is useless, and the secondary market Mimi all values distort the current situation and feel powerless, saying that the crypto industry seems to have really reached the so-called darkest moment. He first pointed out that in the past 2 months, driven by the market atmosphere, few projects can arouse investors' excitement. In addition, he is also optimistic about the spot of Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF. The passage of the 2022 Bitcoin Futures Agreement has brought the entire crypto industry into an unprecedented stage of prosperity. However, he also admitted that the wealth growth of diamond holders will slow down as a result, and the risk of frequent position changes will also increase. In particular, using past experience in cryptocurrency trading to cope with the current environment will no longer work.
There is a saying that I strongly agree with. If you use past data or methods to predict the future trends of crypto assets, it might not be very effective. At this Bitcoin conference, a prominent figure said something noteworthy. He mentioned that any technological innovation starts with immediate technology. This was the case with Bitcoin at the beginning, right? Then institutions join in. The previous and current rounds have the shadow of institutions meddling in them, don't they? The final stage is when the government starts to get involved. From Trump's speech, did you feel that Bitcoin has already entered a new financial cycle? If the government brings in its allies one after another, what changes will occur in the future Bitcoin market and the crypto track? It's really impossible to predict. As we often say, the market is revealed as it moves forward. We can only cross the river by feeling the stones, taking one step at a time. Finally, let's look at today's OK Express. Yesterday, a friend from Western Beijing who used to work in logistics and e-commerce switched careers to become an investment guru. You heard that right, the kind that teaches people about investing. I asked him, in the current environment, isn't it a bit inappropriate to teach people about investing and entrepreneurship? He countered my point, saying that the national fortune is at its peak and we are in a prosperous era, so why would there be a lack of entrepreneurship? He told me that we shouldn't believe all the negative things foreign media say about China. At that time, I argued with him. For a few moments, but I quickly stopped, because arguing with someone who sees the world differently or is on a different cognitive level either ends unpleasantly or leaves you half dead with frustration. So there's a saying, you compete with the wise, but you don't argue with the foolish. Therefore, if you argue with someone who is not on the same cognitive level as you, it means you are not any wiser than they are, or it means you are just part of the same group. Do you know what the frog in the well fears the most? It's not that it can't jump out of the well and see the outside world, but that there is a group of similar frogs next to it, constantly sharing various messages with each other. This world is only as big as the well's opening, and our sky is just one. Wake up. This is where love comes from. So it's not that your cognition is lacking, but that you are unwilling to jump out of the well and admit that the world has changed. Alright, that's all for today's program. If you find the channel valuable, please give us a like. Here, you can find all the membership benefits. We hope to lead all our members to gradually become wealthy in this bull market and let us accumulate more and more Bitcoin.